Hey, FightView360 fans, it's your old mate Big J, and today again, it's been a very interesting week in Australian boxing. A couple of big fights announced, one of which is probably the biggest female Australian fight of all time between IBF bantamweight champion Ebanie Blonde Bomber Bridges and Shannon Shotgun O'Connell. Shannon joins us today. Shannon, the date's announced, the venue's announced, you must be chomping at the bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just happy it's finally 100% happening.
Yeah, so for those who have been following in the last 24 hours, it has been announced that Ebanie will fight Shannon for the IBF bantamweight title in Leeds at the First Director Arena in Leeds on December 10th. It'll be December 11th here in Australia. It will be on DAZN, and Fox Sports KO has jumped on the bandwagon, and it will be shown on Fox Sports and KO Sports on December 11th. Not quite sure of the kickoff time yet, but must be pretty excited, even though from what I've been seeing over Twitter in the last 24 hours, the Australian fans are furious that this is not happening in Australia. What's your thoughts on that, Shannon?
Look, I mean, obviously we would have rather have been in Australia, and, you know, it would have been good to have, even with Matchroom winning the purse bid, have them to put it on their Australian show. I think it would have really, it would have made for a great final touch to the show that they've got. But, I mean, I understand why she doesn't want it here. She's based herself over there, so I don't care. I've always said from the start, obviously I prefer it to be here, but I don't care where it is. I just want the fight.
And now, December 11th, or December 10th in British time, you will have the opportunity. So, how's the I know obviously that we said before that you pulled up on the training, but how's the preparation been going so far, and what is the aim? Obviously you want to win, but are you looking to knock her out or just do what you need to do to win?
I'm just looking to do what I need to do to win the rounds, and if the knockout's there, obviously I'll take it, but I've never gone in looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's there, I plan on outboxing her, outworking her, all of it, outpunching her. Everyone carries on about her punching power, but I mean, I've got it too, so I've also got the skill behind it. So I just plan on winning, to be honest.
Yeah, we are. Well,
I'm able to adapt on the spot. So if something's not working, then I'll just change it and hopefully be able to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you've been in previous All Aussie female fights. Your most recent against, or can we count Shanika as an Australian?
Shanika is Australian. She's been over here since she was a kid.
Oh, okay, cool.
She's Queensland-based amateur. She represented Australia in the amateurs for years.
Oh, sweet. Well, there you go. I thought she didn't get over until she was much older, so thank you for correcting me. So, yeah, your last All-Aussie fight was against, major All-Aussie fight was against Shanika, and then you've had your fight against Diana Prozac. Do you think this one will be the biggest one in Australian boxing history, or so it should be?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the fight with me and Shanika probably didn't get the credit that it was worth.
It was fight of the night, though. It stole the show.
Probably saved the show, I'd say.
I'm pretty sure I said that on the video that we did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think we didn't get the credit that we deserved. I mean, it wasn't on the platform that it should have been on, and you know, didn't have the backing behind it, I guess. But like this is big, being that, you know, she's a Matchroom fighter. She's got all this following, I guess. I mean, the following, all that doesn't really mean much to me because the following's not going to be in the ring with her. But I guess, you know, there will be eyes on it. So you could say, yeah, it is the biggest of all time. Before that, I would say even me and Diana Prozac was probably bigger than me and Shanika.
Yep.
Just because of the title it was for. Yep. And I mean, at the time that I fought Diana, she was pound for pound number one in the world.
Yeah, she was an absolute beast back in the day. I mean, when she fought, when was it, last year against Kylie Reese, she still put up an extremely good show for someone who'd been out of the ring for so long.
I mean, I didn't see the fight at all, but I read her post afterwards. So I mean, they obviously, it must have been a close fight. They thought that they won it. So
no. Kylie definitely won it, but Diana put in a massive effort for someone.
I didn't see the fight. I only read Diana's post after the fight.
Yeah. Well, she did fantastic. But anyway, back to you. So obviously, if you win, is there a rematch clause? Now, being that you're IBF mandatory, I believe that there wouldn't be. I think that's how the rules, but can you confirm or deny if there's a rematch clause? Or is
there's no rematch clause.
I didn't think so, because IBF mandatories...
There's generally not a mandatory fight.
Yeah.
And it wasn't discussed.
Yeah. So if you win, you bring the belt home, and then we go on to bigger and better things. So...
Yeah.
And on the subject of women's boxing, we've got another huge all-Aussie women's fight. A former opponent of yours, Shanika Johnson, is going to be taking on Susie Ramadan for the IBF Super Bantamweight fight. Your thoughts on that fight? And can you give us a prediction?
It's hard to give a prediction because it's a good fight. I mean, I know they've done rounds together, so I don't know what their rounds have ever been like, but I feel like Susie... I mean... Obviously, I've never done rounds with her either, but I feel like Susie would be the type of fighter that fights better than she spars. So I hope Shanika's, I guess, not going off of any rounds that they've done in the gym, because I think Susie's going to be knowing that there's a weight difference and size, just natural size difference. I don't think she's going to be there exchanging. I think she's going to be quite fast, and that Susie's really good at that style. So. I think it's a really good fight. It's a fight that I was surprised to hear about, to be honest. Just with the Susie's weight, I obviously she was getting ranked at super flyweight. Yes. So then to jump 2 divisions, like that's a big step that I didn't think that she was willing to make. So good on her, good on them both for making the fight happen.
Yeah, well, Susie has won a WBF version of the title at super bantamweight before, so. I've spoken to Susie several times. She told me half her career she was always fighting bigger girls. This is nothing new to her. So, yeah, I mean, to have that fight in Australia, what more could you want? So, well, you and Ebanie in Australia is what more we could want.
But, well...
any chance you're going to come to Cambosis Honey rematch?
No, I won't be coming down because I'll be like 2 weeks into my camp by then, and I've got a lot of travel sort of planned with going between Newcastle and Brisbane with my sparring.
Yep.
I did some rounds with Amber Amelia last weekend, well, this week actually, Monday to Wednesday, and they were like really good rounds. So they'll be coming up here. We'll be going down there quite a bit. So I'm gonna give the Cambosis Haney rematch a miss, but I'll be watching on TV, obviously. Probably more so wanting to watch the girls fight than anything.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, now that fight's been announced, the female boxing fans are coming out in strides and just they're extremely happy. So
yeah, it's a great fight. Like, I mean, it's definitely it'll be awesome to showcase what the girls can do on such a big card as well.
Exactly. I mean, I put out a tweet, I think about 2 or 3 months ago, saying that eventually all you 4 will meet in the ring, and luckily for me, I was right. So. And if things can be better, hopefully the winner of both fights, you can find a way to fight the winner. You know, if you win, you can fight the winner of Susie Shanika. That'd be awesome. I mean,
yeah, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. That's a big maybe.
I mean, to be honest, they would have to come to bantamweight because I'm a bantamweight now. I've been there and I fought for that the super bantamweight fight title. I didn't obviously win it. I fought Marcella Acuna for it, but I don't really have much interest in going up in weight. If anything, I'd be going down in weight to super fly.
Yeah, I've heard you mention that before. So you're very happy where you are bantamweight. So that's
like I bust my ass to be strong at this weight. So I don't really have much interest in going up in weight. I used to make bantamweight, just for me it was just too comfortable, and I like to be out of my comfort zone.
Fair enough. So I mean,
obviously, that's up to Glenn and our teams. But yeah, I mean, if they put it to me and Glenn wanted me to do it, then we'd relook at it. But yeah, it's not saying I'm chasing, unless they wanted to come to bantamweight.
Fair enough.
Which obviously would suit Susie better anyway.
Exactly. So speaking of Newcastle, next week we've got the Super Saturday show. A, are you going? And B, what fights interest you on that card?
Absolutely, I'm going. It's, no limit, even though they didn't win the purse bid for me, they really busted their ass, and there's been a lot, so I'll do anything to support their shows. And I haven't missed one of Nikita's fights yet, so I better not start now. So yeah, I'll be going there. Obviously keen to watch Nikita fight. Dennis Hogan, I think, you know, he's deserves this big shot, so, and I think it'll be an interesting fight. Amber, the girl that I've just finished sparring, I'm really keen to see her fight. She's a gun. She's such a lovely girl. So
just on her, we'll give her a plug. What's her name? What's her division?
Amber Amelia. She's fighting, I think it's her third fight, second or third fight at it's her third fight at super featherweight. Super
featherweight, right? We'll keep an eye out for her. Because they've got, who else they got? They got Ash.
Oh, they've got quite a few girls on.
Yeah.
I think they've got all their girls on. They're all just fighting different opponents.
Yeah, they've got
there's
Ash
also
Sims.
Yeah, Ash Sims is making a comeback. She just got knocked out. The girl that she fought, the girl that knocked her out, is fighting Tawana Campbell for the super featherweight Australian title. I think I saw that get mentioned. There's some, and Chanel Dargan. She's also another gun. So there's some good fights on. Yeah,
there absolutely there is. And then, of course, you know, kicking off next year with, you know, obviously Tim Tszyu versus Charlo for the undisputed super welterweight, and we're waiting on the return of Jai Bataille once he gets his jaw right to go. So
yeah.
I mean, would you say this is probably the most successful year Australian boxing's ever had? Because I've been beating that drum for the last, 2 months? So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It's hard to sort of, in the way of, there's a few guys doing some good things. I guess you couldn't really not go there, I guess.
Well,
you've had the Kambosos win, then you've had the Kambosos fight in Australia, which was huge. But then you've Jai Bataille, we've had Ebanie.
Ebanie got up, Shanika got up.
Yeah, it's been a good year.
Yeah, I don't think there's any year in Australian boxing that's come close to what we've achieved in the ring in a 12-month period. I mean, 85 is the only one, and that was only 6 months of 85. So that's how long ago is that? 35 years ago, something like that. But yeah, it's a phenomenal year, and it's just going to get better. And to tip the year, I mean, the perfect way to finish the year is you versus Ebanie on December 11th.
Well, a perfect way to end the year, let's be real, is me beating Ebanie, because then we've got 2 Australians that have won world titles, and then I guess you could also, in that way, say Susie beating Shanika, because then we've had 4 Australian women's world champions.
Exactly. Now,
I'm saying that, though, it's also very successful for them to defend their title and win. So.
Exactly. So, you know, very small chance of this, but any origin theme behind the fight? Any chance that anyone's going to bring this in? Because you're a Queenslander, Ebanie's a New South Welshman. You know.
Nah, I don't know. I think Ebanie is just not even an Australian anymore, is she? I'm not sure. She's very Leeds, so maybe I need to get on board with a
Man United
team. Well, as a kid, I loved David Beckham, so that's about as far as I go with soccer. But I love David Beckham, so if I was going to go for anyone, it probably would have been them. But I really, I'm not going to. I've seen what some people have said about how she became Leeds' biggest fan, and I'm not keen to follow that path.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's why I wanted it in Australia, because another origin-themed fight, well, what do you want? So
yeah,
it would have sold itself. So
yeah.
In my opinion, that fight deserved to be in Australia in main event on its own card, its own main event. That's
well, if it was on I think it would have been a great co-main event with Para Jarvis, but also if No Limit had won the purse bid, it would have been a main event on its own. So I think even pay-per-view, which I think would have been huge. But I mean, there's no point in going over it. Everyone keeps asking me, but there's no point in going over it. What's done's done. Now we just got to get on with the job.
Yeah, okay. Everyone just vent their frustration, get it out of your system, because I've still got a rant coming on the channel in another couple of days, let me tell you. Once I get that out of my system, then I'll fully focus on, you and Ebanie fighting. So, and
well, that's probably one thing that I guess Glenn has brought the best out of me, and I'm not. The way I've heard him say, it's all just noise. Everything that's going on is just noise. We've got a job to do, and that's all that I'm focused on. So, I mean, people write stuff to me. I like everyone's comments, but I'm not. When people write on my page, you get a knockout in 20 seconds. Okay, I'll like your comment, but I don't actually believe that that's what's going to happen.
There's no
thanks for the support, but. I'm not. I like comments because I'm thanking people for my support. I'm not believing everything they're saying, so I'm not taking her lightly. I'm definitely not underestimating her. There's not a chance. Everyone's only one punch away from getting knocked out. So
and she is a tough cookie. She's proved that. So
yeah.
And to her credit, she comes in shape and on weight.
Yep.
So she despite everything else she does, she still does do the professional attributes of the sport, and you've got to give her credit for that. So so all the other stuff she does, I don't pay any attention to. So who cares?
No, me either.
Yeah, no. But as a Queenslander, you're a Queenslander. I'm a Queenslander. I'm backing you. There's no way in hell I'm going for a New South Welshman. That would just be. Yeah.
Well, we can do our own origin thing. We don't need it to be over there.
Yeah, just wear a Queensland jersey just for the hell of it.
Yeah, people will start throwing stuff at me thinking it's some random soccer team over there.
No. Just say this is a Queensland jersey. It's not a soccer team. You'll be right. Yeah, but I don't think most people will go, what's that? So you'll be right. But, I'm so excited that you do have the fight. The date is announced. Have you ever been to England before?
No, I haven't.
Well, there you go. This is
I've fought all around the world, but not in England.
Yes. So that'll be something new for you. I'm so glad you've got.
Probably wouldn't have planned my first trip to England to be in December, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, I said
June would have been nice, guys.
Yep. Well, you can't have everything, so take your winter woolies. It's going to be freezing. Yeah. I mean, we're so glad you got the fight. We hope you get up, bring that title back home to Australia. Shannon O'Connell, thank you so much for joining us. We will speak to you again before the fight. Anything else you want to say?
No, just thanks for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate you being on the channel. Well, we'll talk to you again. Hopefully you get the win. Do it for Australia. Do it for Queensland. Shannon O'Connell, thanks for joining us on the channel.